This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys Quick and Dirty Tips to Work Less and Do More. In the last episode, you heard about my friend who lost 7 years worth of thesis work because they didn't have good backups with their desktop machine. Having on-site backups is one way to recover when you have a fight with your thesis advisor, drag your thesis to the trash and click empty trash, thinking, ha, that'll show you, stupid advisor. Yeah? Deleting your thesis to own your thesis advisor? Nice. But on-site backups still suffer from a problem. When a dimensional portal opens up by your computer and sucks your processor and your backup drives into the enchanted forest, you lose everything. That's why you need to open your own dimensional portal and store your backups there too. Fortunately, we have exactly such a portal, and it's called the cloud. Cloud backup programs store your backups in the cloud where you can get to them even if your physical computer and disk drives become incapacitated. Although, cloud backup providers do paint a rosy picture of milk and honey when describing their services, cloud backup services are really far from perfect. They have limited capacity, so you can't just back up your entire drive, and their security and reliability is, well, it's out of your hands. You can't store it all. Storing terabytes of data in the cloud isn't really feasible. Unlike physical hard drives, it's slow to upload to the cloud. Plus, many cloud backup services charge based on how much you store, and you really don't want to store tons and tons of stuff that's just part of the operating system and isn't really related to your data. For the cloud, you need to decide explicitly what you'll back up. You'll almost certainly back up your documents folder, and if you're on a Mac, probably your library preferences folder as well. Reliability is tricky in the cloud. You owe it to yourself and to your future survival to understand the truth about the reliability of cloud resources. When you store backups at home, you're vulnerable to dimensional portals. That's true. When you store backups in the cloud, you're vulnerable to your provider's data center having a dimensional portal. You're vulnerable to a power loss between you and your provider. You're vulnerable to a communications loss between you and your provider. And what if your data is hacked or encrypted and held for ransom? That's called ransomware. My local hospital recently lost all of their medical records to a ransomware attack. I'm honestly not supposed to know about that, but an insider friend of mine told me about it. Also, if there's an irregularity with your account, the cloud provider could simply remove your access to your backups. I actually had this happen once when a video file that I was editing was mistakenly flagged as a pirated mainstream video. While I was flattered that they thought me talking into a webcam was the equivalent of Patrick Stewart playing Professor X, it really didn't make up for the week it took to regain access to my files. This means you should always keep those local backup drives to complement your cloud storage. You need both. Security is non-existent in the cloud. Reliability is bad, but security is worthy of giggles. Cloud providers assure you that your data is secure and private and all that stuff. They have policies. And that privacy policy doesn't penalize the company in any way whatsoever if it turns out that your data isn't secure and private after all. Oops. So let's be blunt. Privacy policies are not worth the paper they're written on. But they're not written on paper, you say? Exactly. So what if your data is stolen from the cloud by evildoers? They could grab your bank statements, your private correspondence, and even your secret family recipe for avocado marmalade. And then where would you be? There's nothing more demoralizing than having a group of malicious Russian hackers become billionaires by marketing a line of avocado marmalade that you know should really belong to you. Canadian hackers, on the other hand, aren't a worry. They would graciously send you your entire share of the profits without even being asked. Your cloud backups may also be visible to U.S. intelligence agencies and law enforcement. Some providers will hand it over without a warrant, others only hand it over with a warrant, and still other providers have been infiltrated by intelligence agencies and don't even know that they're handing over your data. Whichever way you slice it, no one will ever tell you that you've been breached. You need zero knowledge. For security, choose a cloud backup provider that provides zero-knowledge encryption. Zero-knowledge encryption means that only you have access to your encryption password. Your cloud provider has zero knowledge, they can't access your data even if they want to, and neither can anyone who breaks into their systems. But remember your backup password. If you forget it, no one will be able to access your backups, including you. Now for the specific applications that I like. All of these are zero knowledge because, frankly, I don't want anyone looking at my data for any reason whatsoever without my permission. So I'm big on zero knowledge. SpiderOak 1. It runs on all of the major platforms that you can get, even Linux, and when you delete a file, the prior versions of the file will remain in your backup set until you tell SpiderOak to delete them, which makes SpiderOak great for recovering long-ago deleted versions of files. They also have an iOS app so that you can access your files from an iPhone. The downside, which I've found, that the interface is a little bit clunky and slow. With SpiderOak, however, you can have one account with multiple computers, and you pay based on how much total storage you use. Backblaze runs on Mac and PC and also has a mobile app. Backblaze emphasizes ease of use and charges per machine, giving you unlimited storage per machine. For a single computer, Backblaze is less expensive than SpiderOak, but if you have multiple machines, it's worth doing some comparison shopping if price is your main consideration, because SpiderOak allows you to have limited storage but unlimited machines. Arq, ARQ, is a backup app that does regular backups, but it doesn't come with its own cloud storage. Arq is a one-time purchase, and then you back up to an Amazon AWS account, or Rackspace, or an FTP server, or Google Drive, or whatever cloud you choose to use. Since Arq encrypts your backups, you can use any cloud storage and know that your backups are private. I use Arq personally to create extra backups of my most critical files on Amazon AWS and Google Drive. ODrive is like Arq in that it's a backup program that backs up to any or all of the clouds that you can access, but ODrive goes even further. It lets you share files and folders by generating sharing links. It gives you fine-grained control over who can access different files and how, so you can have a lot of complicated and sophisticated permissions. And unlike Arq, ODrive requires an ongoing subscription to use the zero-knowledge encryption feature. Their free plan is not zero-knowledge. ODrive's paid plan also lets you move files to your ODrive, but still access them as if they were local, so you get the benefits of a local file while not using the disk space. pCloud is an odd mix of backup and file sharing. It creates a virtual drive on your computer which looks just like a regular disk drive. When you move files into that drive, just like with ODrive's premium feature, they actually get stored in the cloud. So they save disk space while you can still access them as if they were on your desktop. They just get pulled down from the cloud as needed to your local machine. pCloud provides file sharing links as well. I use pCloud to store some of my large media files so they don't take up too much disk space on my local machine. You can also buy a crypto add-on, which gives you a special zero-knowledge encrypted folder on your pCloud drive in which everything is encrypted. Unlike ODrive, which is a pay-as-you-go service, pCloud offers lifetime subscriptions that you can pay up front. I have their 2 terabyte plus crypto lifetime plans because I like the pay-once model. Practice safe computing. Don't let your work be destroyed when a dimensional portal opens up nearby. In addition to your on-site backups, use a cloud backup. Backup at least your documents folder and your important preferences. Choose a provider that gives zero-knowledge encryption, set it all up, and then you can go about your day knowing your electronic life is safe and sound if you ever need it. If you want to access the links mentioned in this episode, go to getitdoneguy.com/541. I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook, and if you're an entrepreneur, self-employed, or otherwise need to control your own time, Get It Done groups help you start finishing what's important and develop the habits you need to be hyper-productive. Learn more at steverrobbins.com. Hey guys, we're celebrating 300 million downloads here at Quick and Dirty Tips, and we want to hear from you. Please leave a message with a question or a comment, or just tell me how much you love me at 929-356-4583, which bizarrely spells out wax elm glue. Your recording may be used in a future episode. That's wax elm glue. Looking forward to hearing from you. Work less, do more, and have a great life.